Just imagine, you've decided to completely redecorate your home. It's your New Year's resolution. Gone are the gray walls and the ghastly linoleum. You've chosen a natural material, wood. That's right. With wood, it's so much warmer and greener. So you install it from floor to ceiling. No need to look any further. Wood's everywhere, in more or less transformed forms. In floorboards. In tiny particles in a chest of drawers. In paper pulp, in wallpaper, in cardboard furniture, and even in textile fibers. Come on, one last effort. We've worked hard. Now our home is in perfect harmony with nature. We don't want to be spoilsports, but we need to tell you something. Worldwide wood trafficking is worth $11 billion. Almost as much as the production of drugs. Across the planet, 15 to 30% of wood sold is of illegal origin, from trees felled without permits or in prohibited zones. So the promises made to you when you buy wood are often bogus. We carried out an investigation into the world's #1 furniture manufacturer, Ikea. Flat-pack furniture heaven, with its network of top-secret subcontractors.
Fagus. Il y en a, ils sont énormes. Suntem doar curioși. Atât, suntem doar curioși.
Companies whose methods are often far removed from the Swedish giant's commitment to a greener, more sustainable planet.
It's thousands of trees that have been cut in this whole area. It's lost forever now.
We'll also be revealing the practices of the world's #2 paper company, APP, an Indonesian giant which has turned its forests into incendiary bombs. When the plantations burn, millions of inhabitants asphyxiate. From forests in Europe to plantations in Indonesia. From Romania to Sweden. Follow us into the woods to see if the big bad wolf is lurking. To be honest, the first lead in our investigation we found pretty quickly. It was right before our eyes. Ikea, the biggest consumer of commercial wood on the planet. 16 million cubic meters sawn up every year. At Ikea, we are eco-friendly. Friends of nature. True friends. That's what they claim in their videos.
Our size means that we have a great responsibility. All wood in our products is legally logged and doesn't have a negative impact on the environment. Ikea has more than 20...
Wood guaranteed 100% sustainable, 100% legal. Apparently, not a single stain on the brilliance of this chest of drawers, Brimness. But how to get info on the origin of their wood? How can we put it? We're unable to give you the names of our suppliers as this is confidential information. We expected a little more transparency. In that case, we'll have to make do with the info on the label. Made in Romania. Do you know Romania? A forestry industry which is causing devastation and disfiguring landscapes. An industry which is devouring forests and the promises of preserving nature. You know what? 96% of wood consumed every year by IKEA comes from here. So, how green and irreproachable is the Swedish giant? How 100% sustainable is the flat pack king? We climb aboard the train to travel up the manufacturing chain of this chest of drawers made in Romania. Sounds easy enough? At first, it is pretty easy. We type the name of the furniture, Brimnes, and Romania into a search engine. And we come across the site of a Romanian company called Ecolor, with a lovely promotional clip. At Ecolor, machines and humans caress the wood. Ecolor makes furniture from these immense particle boards, which are sawn, perforated, encased, and packaged in flat packs. Look closely at the packaging, very much like IKEA's. For now, it's our only lead. Here too, no info on the origin of the wood used in the panels. But one source will help us a few miles down the road. To protect our source's identity, let's just say he or she left us a gift in the woods. That's right, the Brimnes chest. And miraculously, there, in the top drawer, a bundle of confidential documents. 99 pages from the files of the Romanian tax office. Every transaction by the manufacturer Ecolor in 2014. And its sales? IKEA, and only IKEA. A few pages on, and bingo, the list of its suppliers. The main one is called Kronospan. It supplied Ecolor with 57% of its raw material, and Kronospan is no small fry. It's the world's largest maker of particle board and fiberboard, a huge wood consumer, just like IKEA, and equally responsible. It says so on its website. Instead of devouring beautiful forests, Kronospan promises to use resources that nobody wants: low-grade wood residues, small round wood, and recycled wood. Such a virtuous industrialist is certainly worth a detour to the center of Romania. Sebeș, a modest town of 25,000 souls. A cow, 2 strollers, 2 horses, and dominating the skyline, the Kronospan plant. With its monumental chimney stacks and mountains of sawdust. Here, Kronospan only makes fiberboard and particle board. They turned down all our requests to film the site. But we do manage to sneak up to a delivery bay. Before our eyes, a truck is about to drive inside. Its load? Not waste or small trees. No, handsome trunks. Solid wood. Not exactly the commitment to sustainability promised on the Kronospan website. Remember? We use low-grade wood residues, small round wood, and recycled wood. The truck can enter the site, but not us. So we hang around the area, looking to check out other loads. Barely out of Sebeș, another load, and even more imposing.
Est-ce que vous avez vu la taille de ces troncs ou pas?
Bună seara! De unde vin lemnele astea așa de mari? Că n-am mai văzut așa mari până acum. Și unde pleacă? La Kronospan?
Il va ce soir à la Kronospan?
În seara asta merge la Kronospan?
Fagus.
Beach. And trunks with a diameter of well over 1 meter.
Stai cu minte că nu te dă nimeni la televizor, nu?
Il y en a qui sont énormes. Il y en a un, il est large comme ça.
Te Numai 60? Oui.
Are the workers too open? Are our questions too insistent? An angry foreman intervenes.
Lui, il travaille ici? Qu'est-ce qu'il dit?
Suntem doar curioși. Atât, suntem doar curioși.
Curious, yes, but not only that. At this point, we get the vague impression we're having sawdust thrown in our eyes.
Bye-bye!
Let's go back. In France, we bought a chest of drawers at Ikea, reassured by the promise of sustainable wood, strictly controlled by the Swedish giant. The chest is composed of wood chip panels assembled upstream by Ecolor. These panels are made from sawdust transformed by Kronospan, which, contrary to its commitments, appears to use beautiful solid wood. So the IKEA chest of drawers we buy all over the world seems to contain magnificent beech trees over 100 years old. We decided to put our questions to Kronospan. They went unanswered. It's quiet in the valley, so we decide to go higher. We head for the peaks and some fairy tale landscapes. Ah, the virgin forests of Transylvania. Take a close look, because these forests are fast losing their virginity and disappearing. They now only cover a tiny 1% of land in Romania. So to save them, the World Wildlife Fund is taking action, with strong backing from, guess who? IKEA. In its Sustainable Development Reports, the Swedish group can't help reminding us in big, bold letters that it is working with WWF to protect virgin forests in Romania. So, when you find out that part of these forests that IKEA wants to protect might actually end up in its furniture, you kind of go, IKEA is not okay. Come with us to the Tarku Mountains at an altitude of 1,300 meters. Our guide is a well-known activist in Romania, Gabi Paun. He's the head of the NGO Agent Green, which is fighting to preserve this forestry heritage that has the wood giants' mouths watering.
So yeah, this is here, a bit in front of us.
Yeah, in front of us, we can already see the virgin forest Olteana, a place where we should see absolutely no human intervention.
For 10 years, the Romanian authorities have kept an inventory of the virgin forests. In the long term, they should all be totally protected.
All those little white dots are the last remaining virgin forest.
And we're inside? Yeah, we're inside.
We're totally inside here.
In close-up, we're here. The area in white is 118 hectares of virgin forest. Well, it was virgin until recently. As we go downhill, we find that lumberjacks have been here before us.
Oh,
Everywhere are rotting stumps. Exclusively beech, the noblest species in the forests of the southern Carpathians.
it's thousands of trees that have been cut in this whole area. You see, it's coming up to the alpine area, absolutely everywhere. So it's compromised. It's lost forever now. And the saddest thing of all is that it happens all over the countries. As soon as the companies heard that virgin forest will be protected, the area has been accessed and destroyed. We think that we already lost more than half of them in the last 10 years.
To find a link with IKEA, we must follow the forest track down into the valley. After a 30-kilometer drive, we reach a sawmill. The logging boss is this man, whom we politely approach
Buonasera. What is your name?
with a hidden camera.
His name?
Dan Olteana, Bazin Olteana, voi ați fost. Eu în Olteana. Ce fel de clienți aveți?
Clienți avem aici în zonă, la Pronoșpan.
Pronoșpania.
Kronospan, remember them?
Ciao.
The particle board maker, Ikea's subcontractor. And the boss will let us in on a little secret.
La Pronoșpan, ei interesează sortiment, să fie de la 1 metru pe sortiment, de la 1 metru până la 4 metri, atât.
So they're never asking what forest it comes from?
Nu întreabă nimeni, da, nu.
We'll be able to see the true colors of Ikea's wood on our Romanian discovery tour. After 4 months of negotiations, we finally get our hands on an exceptional pass to visit the multinational's HQ. So we head for the Swedish countryside. At the end of the road, Ikea land, the small town of Almhult and its 15,000 inhabitants. Here, a third of the population works for the furniture mammoth. On the right, in-house test lab. Further on, the head office. Monitoring of the distribution branch. We have an appointment at the third exit, after the Ikea Hotel in the town center. At the Ikea Museum. Yeah. Downstairs, we'll be able to talk about the Brimness chest of drawers with the in-house expert, Mikhail Tarasov, the multinational's Mr. Forest.
Do you agree with this, that Brimness model is assembled by Ecolor, and the main supplier of wooden board to Ecolor is Kronospan? You agree with this too?
That is commercial information that we cannot disclose unless to the competent authorities or the court. But Kronospan is one of the suppliers of the particle board, one of them.
Well, Kronospan is making a promise to use low-grade wood residues. I guess that was your asking to your suppliers to use small wood, not beautiful trees.
Normal way of manufacturing of the particle board that is using as a raw material low-grade quality of the wood, not the best beautiful part of the tree. And that's exactly what we are using in Brimness.
That's you ask them. Okay, may I show you something? We went there in Romania. These are the trucks that are coming in this factory of Kronospan in Sebeș. See, big parts of wood, magnific wood. That's not low-grade residues. It's solid, it's massive wood, not small diameter.
Well,
what do you think of it?
I haven't been personally to this factory, so I cannot see if that is a Kronospan factory or not.
I get, no. We've been there, and I just tell you that this is the Kronospan factory in Sebeș.
Yeah, I cannot comment on the requirements of that Kronospan sets to its suppliers when it comes to the raw materials.
But this is not what you ask to
Well,
Kronospan. This is what they do.
We don't have any direct business with Kronospan, so we don't ask Kronospan to buy any assortments of the wood. We ask our supplier to use particle board in Brimness. That's all what we ask. And I say that Kronospan is one of the producers.
Yeah, but it's too easy to say that you don't work directly with Kronospan.
But that's the reality.
But they are in your supplier chain. Okay, they work for Ikea. They do this kind of panel for you, for your furniture. So is that the way you want them to work?
Yeah, there are many considerations behind the decision of Kronospan to source raw materials to produce particle board. And as long as this wood used by Kronospan meets Ikea minimum requirements, we would be happy.
Look again at this second video, okay? That's what the workers from Kronospan suppliers told us.
Again, as I said, that I cannot comment on the wood raw material purchasing strategy of Kronospan because we removed one tier. And as long as this wood comes from the legal sources, from the sources without social conflict, is not damaging high conservation value of forest, conversion and GMO, we are happy because that meets Ikea minimum requirements.
So you think it's normal to have this kind of trees, very old trees, to do some particles, to do your furniture? Is that what you say to me?
Normally, the trees that are used to produce particle board are lower grade and lower dimension trees.
This is not the case.
But that's what I'm saying. I cannot comment on the Kronospan raw material purchasing strategy. And as long as these logs coming from the sources that are acknowledged by Ikea as compliant with our minimum requirements, we are happy to continue.
Okay, we've understood the official line. Sheltering behind its minimum requirements, here's the maximum that Ikea requires from its subcontractors. But do you recall the other promise the Swedish giant made?
Our size means that we have a great responsibility. All wood in our products is legally logged.
Did you catch that? Legally logged. Except that in Romania, the wood industry is pretty much like the Wild West. In June 2015, even the Romanian environment minister voiced her concerns.
Ultimii ani, în România, s-au tăiat ilegal pădurile. Cele 8,8 milioane de metri cubi de pădure tăiată ilegal în fiecare an.
8.8 million cubic meters chopped down every year without authorization. The equivalent of 220,000 semi-trailers worth. In single file, the trucks would stretch from Paris to Tehran. Back to our cute IKEA chest. In the bottom drawer, another bunch of fiscal documents for the year 2014. 21,000 lines of transactions between industrial wood companies. And one name that we're starting to know well crops up often, Kronospan. So, according to the Romanian tax office documents, Kronospan buys wood from a company which has a rat-like smell about it. Pulp Industry Schweighofer. For 3 years, the name Schweighofer has sent shivers down the tree trunks of the southern Carpathian forests.
Cea mai mare firmă de prelucrare a lemnului din România, Holz Industrie Schweighofer.
Ilegal austriecilor de la Schweighofer în România.
Metoda prin care operează Schweighofer.
Schweighofer. This Austrian company is the #1 wood processor in Romania. Today, activists are speaking out unanimously against it. Militant ecologists, experts in logging, almost all of them denounce its methods. The Romanian authorities have even opened an inquiry on its supply practices. Back to Sebeș, home of Kronospan, with the activist Gabi Pau. Here, IKEA's subcontractor and Schweighofer stand side by side. The red buildings on the left are Kronospan. In gray, on the right, the Schweighofer plant. It makes doing business much easier. And talking business, let's be precise. According to the documents in our possession, in 2014, Schweighofer sold 8 million euros worth of wood to Kronospan. But Kronospan isn't the only link in the chain from Schweighofer to IKEA. Still in 2014, Schweighofer supplied 15 million euros worth of wood to other Romanian subcontractors of IKEA. For 2 years, activist Gabi Paun has also been investigating Schweighofer's practices. 100 kilometers from Sebeș, we follow him on a new lead.
That's a little one. I think the big is after.
A mountain has apparently been disfigured by large-scale felling. Very quickly, Gabi spots this pile of freshly logged trucks.
That's for Schweighofer. All these logs are from coniferous forest. In this case, it's 3 meters long, and it's exactly the size that Schweighofer needs.
We park up in the middle of the cows.
It's raining again now, so.
And to find the logging area, climb a 600-meter slope to the summit. 3 hours of rambling to discover this.
Oh, the clear cut, see? Wow. It's massive.
4 kilometers away as the crow flies, a clear cutting. The landscape looks like it's been scratched by a Carpathian wolf.
They're hiding it in the edge of the mountain.
Yes, for sure.
When we zoom in, its dimensions become impressive. And by opening our satellite map, we discover even more enormous swaths.
So, we're here. Okay.
Here? This.
It's this,
Okay.
yes, it's this. And we see 4 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's much more down. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's a disaster.
Look here.
It's a catastrophe. Let's try to measure
you
this,
can
huh?
go also to see more.
Dot by dot, we trace the contours of the damage. The result, 31 hectares, the equivalent of 42 football fields.
We're gonna look for the other way.
We go down here, yeah.
Seen from higher up, the whole zone is dotted with clear cuttings. We've circled them in red. Was it Schweighofer that devoured the wood from this mountain? We continue our investigation in the valley. The forest belongs to a cooperative, meaning the people of a neighboring village. One of the members, in strict anonymity, will tell us who's responsible for this massive logging.
Sunt 3-4 firme care exploatează, doar că, ce vreau să vă spun, de tăiat se taie conform unui amenajament, se respectă, nu se taie în plus, doar ce se fură. Nu, pe lângă parchetul respectiv, ai banda asta, vă dau exemplu, hotelul era să merg, da? Au bătut limitele și s-au mai dus. Era o firmă de la Bistrița, în Săud, numai ăștia cred că au furat în jur de 4.000 de metri cubi. Sfârșitul la 2013, începutul la 2014, în 3 au venit cu 7 utilaje de exploatare și în 3 luni au făcut
Tot ilegal.
Ilegal a fost tot.
According to this man, guess which company the illegally logged wood was delivered to?
Care ulterior lemnul intra la Pulp Industrie Schweighofer.
This represents 100 semi-trailers of wood, 4,000 cubic meters of wood, which was then sold on to Schweighofer's customers. It's impossible to confirm what we've heard, but one thing is sure. Since May 2015, Schweighofer has been in the Romanian government's line of sight. We managed to get our hands on the report of the preliminary inquiry, and it doesn't look good for Schweighofer. The authorities suspect 20 or so companies of having sold wood to Schweighofer or its suppliers, 165,000 cubic meters of it of illegal origin, between 2014 and 2015. To get an idea of the volume, let's translate it into truckloads. 165,000 cubic meters equals 4,125 semi-trailers of illegal wood in just a year and a half. That's 8 per day. But according to the investigator's report, Schweighofer may also be implicated in even more serious matters. There is a legitimate suspicion that networks have been created to give an appearance of legality to wood without a legal origin. Put plainly, Schweighofer employees may have been involved in illegal wood laundering. The case has since been passed on to decor, the Romanian Agency Against Organized Crime. Well, what do you know? After 8 months of negotiations, the Austrian company Holz Industrie Schweighofer finally lets us into its headquarters in Vienna to answer some questions. We're greeted by a cheerful wood magnate, Gerald Schweighofer, head of the company for the past 13 years.
You know, you are under investigation right now in Romania. It's not a little organization investing you. It's a decor, which is the Directorate for Organized Crime.
I think, first of all, I think there is investigation for all wood processing companies. I think you will not find a single one, meaning a bigger one, what they have not controlled an investigation.
Regarding decor, I mean, you are currently the only company to be investigating by the decor, so...
Mm-hmm. First of all, we do everything what is the Romanian law, and we really respect the Romanian law. And I think if there is really one employee, he made an illegal thing, I think this will be also for us very important. We have this guy, and we know what he made really illegal.
This is not one employee. We are speaking plural, organized structures with an S. So it's not one structure.
What?
Organized structure. I mean...
Structure, mean?
Yeah, structure, like to laundry illegal wood. That is a suspicion.
Excuse me, I think I have to ask now my staff, so as this is confusing for me, yeah?
As a result from the investigation, some 27 suppliers have delivered to your company food without any legal origin. We are speaking of 165,000 cubic meters of food without any legal origin. Have a look at the moment.
I can only say we're controlling all the trucks. And you know, we have, I guess I'm 100% sure, we have proved also this material and checked 100 times, or let's say not 100 times, but to check all the documents, what is arrived in our mills.
Mr. Schweighofer, I'm sorry, we have to back it because we have the next date.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The boss's next appointment is very close by, just next door, in fact, with one of his advisors. But by chance, in his hurry, Herr Schweighofer happens to keep our mic with him.
Was?
Gar nicht weiterlaufen mit der.
Ja, das ist vielleicht schon sehr zynisch gewesen.
Das Problem ist, dass die eine Agenda hat.
Ja.
Und die Kamera hat ja die Agenda
Was
versaut.
sollen wir nehmen? Was?
Die Agenda hat es versaut.
Ach so.
Oh.
Of course, the mic. Oops. Okay, one last piece of Scandinavian country music. Back to Åmhult and Ikea land. It's impossible to close the Schweighofer case without discussing it with its end customer. Mikhail Tarasov, Mr. Forrest, take two.
I'd like to tell you about another big wood manufacturer, Schweighofer. It's the #1 in Romania, of course. You know him, you know Schweighofer. It's so big. You've worked with Schweighofer.
No, Schweighofer has never been our direct supplier.
You've been working with them for a long time.
No, Schweighofer has never been IKEA direct supplier.
No, you play with the word direct, but Schweighofer has been in your supply chain.
That is correct.
That is
Schweighofer wood
correct.
has been in IKEA supply chain.
Okay, I guess you know what is reproach to Schweighofer, who you were working with.
So our approach was, since we learned about the information, we recommended our supplier to find alternative sources to Schweighofer. And since that time, none of IKEA supplier has been purchasing or has been having any wood from Schweighofer in our products. And investigation is going on. So we are waiting for the results to make a next decision.
You answer exactly.
And on top of that, we also met Schweighofer directly to motivate them to improve their forestry.
Okay, so illegal wood was in your supply chain and you decided to stop because they are at the center of a big scandal. But
That's not the statement that I can agree with, that illegal wood is in our supply chain. I explained to you that we have several safeguards which minimize to utmost level that we can do the risk of having illegal wood in our supply chain.
What you say after all we've showed to you, that IKEA has still a lot to do to be sure that all your furnitures are done in legal wood.
What I can say that we've done really a lot, and we, I believe, in forefront of the sector, but there is always room for improvement.
Okay.
Did you know that in the world of wood, there's another mega company which also claims to be exemplary? Right, it's time to tell you a little story. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a very, very big company which made lots and lots of paper and packaging while taking good care of the forest. This very, very big company was called Asia Pulp and Paper. But in the world of wood, it was known as APP. All right, the rest of the story we'll tell in our normal way. APP is the world's second biggest paper and packaging company. In 2011, in its home country of Indonesia, the company was in the sights of Greenpeace, which accused it of razing the tropical forest. Bye-bye tigers. Farewell orangutans. So, to get APP to act, the NGO publicly called on one of its biggest customers, Mattel, maker of Barbie and her boyfriend Ken. Under pressure from Greenpeace and customers, Mattel boycotted APP packaging. Other groups would follow suit: Danone, Nestle, Auchan, Carrefour, Unilever, Kraft, Disney, Lego. In all, 100 brands dumped the paper giant. Greenpeace had won. In 2013, APP backed down and, miracle of miracles, announced it had converted to ecology. The company's Director of Sustainable Development, Ada Greenberry, broke the news at a special ceremony.
Effective January 31st, 2013, we have suspended all natural forest clearance among all suppliers of APP to allow conservation assessment to take place.
APP officially ceased deforesting
Thank you very much.
and hammered home the message in its advertising. How'd you like that? Now the company is rebirthing the forest with its plantations of infinitely renewable trees. That's APP magic for you. APP refused all our requests to film. All the same, we fly to its homeland of Indonesia, without an invite, but with one question. Could APP be filling part of Asia with smoke? It was a French TV news report in September 2015 which gave us the lead.
Des incendies de forêt gigantesques également en Indonésie. Voyez cette épaisse fumée qui trouble l'air. L'armée indonésienne a même été mobilisée.
For 5 months, fires raged out of control. 26,000 square kilometers, a surface area the size of Belgium, gone up in smoke. 43 million Indonesians trapped in a cloud of unbreathable air. The worst environmental disaster in Southeast Asia since the tsunami of 2004. And behind the catastrophe were possibly some APP plantations, which have been accused of being open-air powder kegs. We land on the island of Sumatra. In the south, the city the worst hit by the smoke from the fires, Palembang, with its 1.5 million inhabitants. Here, to find info on the origin of the fires, there's only one address, the Regional Agency for Disaster Management. We invite ourselves, with our hidden camera,
Good morning. Good morning.
into the agency's command
Good
post.
morning, sir. Good morning. My name is Marie. Maurice.
In 2015, it was here that the agency officers coordinated the operations to fight the huge fires.
Please tell him I want to understand where started the fire that gave the big ace in Palembang. Yeah? This area. Okay.
Sumber asap dari Oki, Tenggara, dari selatan atau dari timur masuk ke Palembang.
And is there some specific companies working there? Or?
Kehutanan yang ada di sana.
Siapa yang punya perusahaan ini, Pak?
Perusahaan swasta.
Punya ya?
Di sini ada. Di sini.
Okay. I can show you which the
The agency established a detailed list of all the companies, 22 of them.
Let's see. PT Sumberijo Permai, PTC Bangun,
Which all begin with the initials PT, but no sign of APP. We need to dig deeper into the list.
On doit récupérer cette liste. Do you think we can make a copy of this? Or...
Copy? Okay.
Thank you.
An old-fashioned photocopy. Sorry, trees, it's for a good cause. Time to type one of the names into the search engine. For example, PT Bumi Andalas Permai. This redirects us to the group Sinar Mas. Let's check out its logo. and compare it to that of APP. Identical. A simple explanation. Sinar Mas is the parent company of an Indonesian industrial conglomerate with divisions in banking, real estate, agriculture, telecommunications, energy, and wood and paper, with a division called APP. Our suspicions were correct. Concealed in the smoke of Palembang was the model paper and packaging company. And to work out its degree of implication in the forest fires, we returned to Paris. Our editorial team would get their calculators out. We start with a map of the island of Sumatra, and in dark green, color the plantations leaked to APP and Sinar Mas, its parent company, not just in South Sumatra province, but over the rest of the island. 76 plantations in all. Remarkable, but not enough to go on. We now had to determine the exact number of fires. The only way was to call on a highly placed source.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Apart from God, is there anyone more highly placed?
12 seconds into the flight.
For sure, NASA satellites.
And we have separation of solid motors 1 and 2.
An Earth observing system satellite with an onboard spectral radiometer, a 99-minute orbit at an altitude of 705 kilometers. As it turns, the little machine meticulously records every forest fire detected on the Earth's surface, all those small red dots. On Sumatra in 2015, precisely 13,214 dots, which we then lay over our map with the APP green zones. And suddenly it all becomes clear as a day without smoke. At the heart of the cloud-producing region is Palembang, with 5,068 fires on APP plantations. That's 59% of the forest fires recorded in the province in 2015. In other words, well over half of the fires are linked to APP. So why does it burn so much at the Emperor of Paper? Back to Indonesia. 60 kilometers east of Palembang. Our guide is a mustache, but beneath it, the jovial agronomist Professor Bambang Saharjo, the expert on forest fires. He was appointed by the Environment Ministry to investigate APP plantations.
Kan yang kita cari yang dekat Tulung Selapan itu ya, di kiri kanannya yang bekas kebakaran.
So it's like an adventure.
Yes, an adventure. You should enjoy.
But be warned, it's a real adventure, but not exactly the one we'd planned on.
And seemed that big rain last night. Yeah, February.
The Indonesian rains, boy, are they heavy, are more effective than all the firemen in the world. In December 2015, they finally snuffed out the Indonesian brazier. But 5 months later, they would pour down on our hopes of an expedition.
Matikan dulu Pak AC-nya, kuat dulu dah. Itu matikan AC-nya.
After slip-sliding non-stop for 3 hours, we failed at 15 kilometers from our goal. Talk about getting bogged down. You can say that again. There's no way through. Impossible to visit the burned-down plantations. We'll have to take solace in a cafe. Lemonades all round, and a private tutorial with the professor.
2015.
He and his colleague already went into the heart of the furnace.
It's taken from helicopter.
But it's burning everywhere.
Yes.
How come it burns so easily?
Kenapa dia bisa cepat terbakar? Karena pertama kondisinya sangat kering.
ya, sehingga bahan bakar menjadi sensitif, mudah untuk terbakar.
Jadi basah si gambutnya, jadi nggak mudah terbakar dia. Kenapa dia terbakar? Karena tadi water managementnya tidak ada sistem zoning ya, dibikin gitu supaya tidak terbakar. Dia nggak lakukan itu.
Let's pause. Now we have to explain something to you. Having once raised the tropical forest, APP replanted with acacias. They grow fast and their wood makes good paper. But there's a problem. The soil is peat, a layer several meters thick, 10% organic matter, 90% water, the result of several thousand years of decomposing forest. Peat, being extremely damp, doesn't suit acacias. So the company dried it by digging ditches and draining off the water. The result, the acacias started growing, but the soil became extremely inflammable. So that's how the APP plantations became open-air powder kegs.
Oh, yes.
We did the math. In 1 decade on the island of Sumatra, 17,620 fires have been recorded in the paper and packaging giants' plantations. With a record like that, what is APP doing? According to our eminent professor, not very much.
Nah, dan pasukan pemadam itu hanya 6 orang, fire brigades. Kemudian ini three-wheel vehicles, jadi kendaraan roda 3 itu hanya 1. Ya, sementara luasnya itu adalah 28.000 hektar.
That's only
this.
To extinguish the fire?
Yes, only this for 28,000 hectares. Peralatannya tidak ada menara, tidak ada menara api. Bagaimana mereka mengatakan sustain? Nah, itu saja sudah mengindikasikan, menunjukkan bahwa tadi dia tidak mau belajar dari masa lalu. Ini adalah bekas terbakar. Ya.
With the Environment Minister, Professor Saharjo has filed a lawsuit against APP. It has to be said, the smoke produced by the fires has been disastrous for the people of the region. Harvard University researchers analyzed the impact of the noxious dust inhaled by the population during the hell of 2015. It's just an estimate, but here are, according to them, the number of premature deaths that may be caused by the smoke. In the Indonesian archipelago, 91,600. In neighboring countries, 6,500 in Malaysia and 2,200 in Singapore. A total of 100,300 lives may be lost due to the toxic clouds, a health disaster which has already started. We crisscross the streets of Palembang on a scooter. This is the hell people went through 6 months earlier, barely 5 meters visibility. Air saturated with toxic particles. A dozen times, the maximum health threshold was broken. A state of emergency was declared on half of Sumatra. In Lima Ulu, a poor district of Palembang, we're meeting Pita from Friends of the Earth. In the fall of 2015, to cope with the influx of sick people, the young volunteer and her NGO had to set up an emergency medical center.
Satu hari aja kemarin yang daftar itu sampai 200 anak yang daftar. Hari pertama kita buka posko. Hari pertama buka posko sampai 200 anak itu lebih kurang. Bisa hari kedua itu 150-an. Banyak.
Among the children, some were hospitalized for a month.
Yang paling sakit waktu kemarin soal kabut asap itu bisa angkat tangan enggak? Siapa yang batuk sakit? All of you? Hampir semua batuk ya?
Thanks to Pita's NGO, all the children in this neighborhood survived. Others weren't so lucky. Officially, the toxic cloud killed only 11 people on the island of Sumatra. The youngest was a newborn.
Saya Mary.
In Palembang, we meet Mursida and her 2-year-old son, Mohammed. Hussein, her other son, stopped breathing aged just 25 days.
Hussein? Is that the only picture you got of Hussein?
The newborn died during the fires after 48 hours of agony.
Pagi-pagi itu rencananya pas jam 6 tuh nak aku ajak ke rumah sakit. Nak aku ajak berobat. Nah, sampai langsung dari rumah sakit langsung diberi bantuan kan, langsung dipasang oksigen. Masih juga. Nengok napasnya tuh. Pas maghrib itulah sudah kadang-kadang hilang, kadang-kadang naik lagi 30. Nah, kita jam 8 itu lagi nih, tidak naik lagi, langsung kosong itu.
And yet, after giving birth, the young woman sought refuge in a better isolated concrete house.
Di kamar, kan jarang ku keluar dari kamar, karena mungkin karena asap itu, dia tidak pernah ku keluar dari kamar selain dia rebel itulah. Ya ujinya lah ya huni, tidak di dalam tuh tidak masuk asap, sedangkan pun ada kipas angin ya, ditutupin kabut itu kan gelap.
For the death of her son, the government paid Mursida compensation of 1,000 euros. 8 months at the minimum wage. That's it.
Nak dimarahkan dengan siapa, kesel ya. Coba ya kita kan sebagai umat muslim ya, nilai pasrah ya. Kita nak beratap tidak bisa, kita tidak mungkin balik lagi. Ya cuma nak, yo kesel.
11 deaths, 353,000 patients with severe lung infections. The island of Sumatra has paid heavily for the fires. Time to question APP. To do so, we must fly to another island. This time, nothing can prevent us from filming the 3,000 square kilometers of the multinational scorched plantations out of the window. After a 50-minute flight, we descend towards the capital, Jakarta.
Attendants, prepare for landing.
In the heart of the business district is the headquarters of Sinarmas, APP's parent company. But we're held up at reception. Despite our repeated requests, the group categorically refuses to give us an interview.
Thank you, bye-bye.
A while later, we received a reply, at distance, with this letter. In 2015, the forest fires were particularly dramatic due to the extreme climatic conditions linked to the aggravation of the phenomenon known as El Niño. It was not the fault of APP, but of the weather and global warming. Okay, fine. And the extensive exploitation of the peatlands? APP backs national efforts to protect and restore the peatlands. There you go. That's it. Not a word on those who died or fell sick due to the cloud of Sumatra. But the Indonesian Court of Appeal has adjudicated. Thanks to Professor Suharjo's investigation, the multinational has just been ordered to pay out around 5 million euros in damages for environmental destruction.